We did 100 shows. We're back for another one. And
we haven't left.
Maybe like 100 more? I don't know.
We haven't even showered for a week.
Like, we just stayed at Asylum Records because it's such a cool place. It's actually Scott left and he locked us in, and so we're doing
a midnight episode.
You know, it's like, why
no,
not?
Just kidding.
Why not? Why not?
So welcome to Good News Arizona.
Welcome to Good News Arizona. This is Chris Dunham. With me as always is the legendary
Dean Nunn, and this is our not-so-live studio.
Right, this is the most famous not-so-live studio audience we've ever had. Ever. Like, ever.
Dude, that's really cool.
And that's not even half of it. So guess what? Guess what? Good News Arizona. This is Randy with friends. He's having dinner with friends. That's what
Gotta eat.
That's what, yeah.
All right, Good News Arizona. Our buddy, friend of the show, Juan.
Juan.
This is him out for a walk. He's had heart surgery.
Right, and he's recovering nicely. Right. Yeah.
Good to see you,
Good job, Juan. Good job.
Good job.
Good News Arizona. This is our friend Steve, and he likes the chili sesame oil, although he says it's hot as fill in the blanks, and hot as shiitake mushrooms.
I think
right?
it's sidewalks in Arizona in September.
Oh, that was September. You mean August?
Okay, we can go with that. No. Good News Arizona!
August.
This is the Barnhouse Community. This is a really cool group.
Wow.
They help seniors.
Yeah. You were laughing because Scott just showed us a picture of himself with Lynette the Clown. Right.
Let's try this again.
See?
Good News Arizona.
Lynette the Clown. Okay.
There's a group called Barnhouse Community. They are helping lonely seniors get pets.
Oh, I thought you were say get connected.
No, pets. Like homeless pets are coming over and hanging out with seniors.
What's that site, for the youth?
I don't know.
For the guys and girls to connect? They do it for seniors.
Dude, I don't know.
We could do that. Make an app for seniors hooking up, man.
Old farts,
Call
right?
it Grimps. Like grandparents.
Keep
Grimps.
reading. Friend of the show, Joy. You know Joy.
Joy.
She just made a pineapple upside down cake. Ba-dink. Yeah, she's a great cook and a wonderful person. We love her.
Right on. Good News Arizona. This is Alicia with her littles. That's the kids. They're bigger. They're growing. They're like probably close to like 7, 8, 9, 10, something like that.
We're almost there.
I know.
All right.
Yeah.
Good News Arizona.
Yeah.
This is friend of the show.
Yeah.
You remember Carolyn?
I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
She is here camping in Arizona, enjoying the weather.
Wow.
Enjoying retirement life.
I don't camp. You camp? You camp. He blew an entire commission check on camping supplies one year for Christmas.
I enjoy it.
Guess what time it is now, Dean?
What time is it now?
It's live on location. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Hello, this is Lynette the Clown. I'm live on location. Back to you, Chris and Dean. That was epic, man.
Send help.
That was epic. But guess what we're going to do now? Now we're going to have a really special guest because we had a show, and during our 100 show run, we had an entire show dedicated to this man. He's a rock and roll legend. He's a rock and roll Hall of Famer.
And a very nice man.
One of the originally founding members of the Alice Cooper group.
That's
so
right.
we're going to have Michel Bruce come in and sit on the couches with us, and we're going to have a rapid fire segment talking about him, and we're going to do a top 10 with the records he was on. He's going to put them in his order of what his favorite albums are that he was on in his rock and roll storied career.
And then we'll just leave it at that. Until he gets here.
Right, so come on, Michael. So here we are.
Michael Bruce.
Again, we had such a great time doing a show all about him in our first little centurion of shows. We had to bring him back for another one.
I know.
They dug me up, and here I am.
So we're going to talk a little bit rapid fire. Rapid fire news is just rapid fire Michael Bruce.
Yeah.
So we just want to talk about Michael Bruce, what you've been doing since the last time we saw you.
Ooh, okay.
What plans you got for the future? You're going to go out on the road. You're going to make some records.
What have I been up to? We laid low. Len and I just didn't hang out.
Right.
Large concerts and whatnot.
Sure.
And then I kept working on music. The time I was out here, I think I had just gotten out of the hospital. I had my knee replacement.
Was that before or after we met him? After. It was after. Yeah,
Yeah. I had some kidney stones,
right,
and that was interesting.
That was fun.
I was driving down the freeway when the first one dropped. I was like,
oh. Do you have a picture of that?
No, I don't.
Oh, damn it.
But I salvaged one that passed without notice in the toilet, but I don't know where I lost it, my wallet or something.
Ouch.
Maybe I thought it was Coke and crushed it up and started it. Well, we started working on the Michel Bruce group.
Right.
Yep.
With some players, Matt Indies.
Yep.
Here
Matt
local.
Indies, yep.
Matt and
Lynn's part of it, right?
Yeah. Because of COVID, all of our best laid plans just went.
Right.
So what happened was, then all of a sudden, Alice decides he wants to do, instead of another album of his stuff,
right,
he wants to get the group back together.
Nice.
So I was like, oh, so I told the guys, look, I'm going to take some of the material and see if they want to use it.
Yeah.
Just so far they've used, I think, 1, maybe 2 songs.
Right on.
And so we're doing the Cooper reunion album. It's supposed to be out next year sometime.
Right on.
What label's he on now, Scott? The last Detroit Stories?
I don't like any of his stuff if you're not on it.
So we rehearsed about a week ago over at the Solid Rock, and Alice was there, and we hammered out like 7 songs.
Right on.
So we're probably going to get together again, and we'll finish the album up, and then we'll record it sometime probably before the end of the year. I'd love to do some shows with Alice, like we did in the UK. We went on last for like a half an hour, and
right on.
fans loved it.
Oh, like so he plays his show,
he
and
played his show,
and then you guys. That's cool.
It was just, nobody knew we
That's
were playing.
cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
The fans went nuts.
The label is Ear Music.
Never heard of it.
So we can expect a new album with Alice Cooper.
Yes.
Probably next 2023.
Yes.
Right, and then hopefully you're going to go on the road.
Well,
Or just some shows.
yes.
Couple of
Just some shows. And you'll call Dean and I so we can come backstage and do a live on location with you jamming.
Sure.
Okay, right on. And
I'll bring my air guitar.
Full access backstage pass.
That's cool. Right on.
Bring the wife.
Yeah, bring the wife.
You have that recorded, right?
Yeah. Okay. Done.
Woo,
So-
that'd be so fun.
So we do this every week. It's homage to David Letterman. But this week's show is all about Michael Bruce, his favorite top 10 albums of all time.
Alice Cooper album.
Right, well, you were on Alice Cooper, right. The top 10 albums with Alice Cooper that he was on,
Yes.
and starting from 10 to 1. I'm going to hand them to you and you can explain.
Okay. This is greatest hits.
Right.
Obviously, it contains some of the songs that made us popular.
The greatest hits.
Yes.
Great.
School's over. Am I still 18?
Right.
Homer, Mr. Nice Guy. I had written that back after Killer, but it just didn't fit any of our, scary type
Right.
motifs. It's too
Yeah,
pop.
yeah.
Bob decided $1 Billion Baby album was going that way,
Yeah.
more of a pop.
Yeah,
And they knocked on my door, and I said, sure.
there you go. There you go.
That's cool. So what's the next one we got?
If you ever get a chance, listen to this. It won't make much sense, but you've got to admire the sheer velocity of these guys that went in and wrote songs anywhere from a minute and a half to maybe 2 minutes, all the way to 7 minutes. The story behind this is when we went to Frank Zappa's house, he said, I got a great idea for packaging for your album. We'll call the band Alice Cookies. In a tin,
Oh, right on.
it'll have these hip pocket records that
Yeah.
you put in this little player you can buy in the
remember
back
those.
of a
Yeah,
comic book.
yeah.
And
They're little tiny records,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Well, they're about
Yeah.
the size of a CD,
Yeah,
I guess they were.
yeah.
And then there'll be like 12 of them in there, and we're going, Frank, if that was such a good idea, why don't you do that for the mothers?
Yeah.
No way. Little known fact, Vice President, he was wanted to do the rating, album rating. Agnew, Spiro Agnew.
Oh, way back there.
In response, Warner Brothers was being like responsible, so they put a sticker over this girl's animated crotch. Wow, that's so offensive.
Yeah, it is offensive. I didn't know it was a crotch until you pointed it out. Number 8.
This album was the next attempt to make a statement musically. But the neat thing about this album, you're driving down Sunset going south towards the ocean, and as you came around the corner before you got to the whiskey, there was a billboard Warner Brothers paid for, and this was it looked like the Brick Girls, and it was us. And it was a very cool.
Cool to be on a billboard.
Yes, we had a billboard, yeah. They offered to cut our hair, but we reneged. But
Yeah.
it's not a bad album. It's David Briggs produced this, if you could call it that. His idea of producing was, well, if you weren't Neil Young, he'd come in and go, roll me one here. Okay, that's a take. Oh, David, we haven't started it. Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, that's a take. He wanted to get out of there in the worst way.
That's right. And number 7.
Oh, God.
Number 7.
This was almost there, almost out. Unfortunately, Shep said this is the one he could blame on him because there was a lawsuit between Frank Zappa's manager and Shep. Shep really should have won, but he went to the lawyers in New York and want the file. You guys have been handling this, right? So opens it up, it's like 3 papers in a manila envelope.
Oh.
So Shep lost, but the album is really good. I thought it was produced by Jack Douglas and Jack Richardson, who did the Guess Who. But the box, unfortunately, usually you get 24 in a box, but this only fit 12, and then if you tried to put them on the racks, they didn't fit.
Right.
So record industry didn't like it.
Right.
This is the album
That's the album I remember.
This is the album that got our snake employed.
Ah.
Kachina was a gift that our drummer Neil, it was actually his snake. Yeah, some girl gave it to him down the floor. My parents won't let me keep this anymore.
Not helping me with my fear of snakes there.
I didn't say this, but on the new album, one of the songs we're working on has to do with, it's a very lethal snake. It kills you in like 7 seconds.
Oh.
There's a couple of them.
Wow.
But that's one of the songs. This was a lot of fun, this album.
Oh, somebody just threw panties on the stage.
Oh. No, that's not what these are.
What?
This is the food handlers. Taco Bell. It was a great album. It just really clicked. It was one of those things that fell together. Somebody else was asking me, like, well, did you set out to write an album about school? No, we didn't. But Neil had this song. It was called Alma Mater. A long time ago on the Love It to Death album, when I was working on the music that became 18, it used to be My Only High School Queen.
Right on.
It was about school.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing I think most people have in common. You know, I mean, it's no common denominator. So it made it very, very interesting, and it paved the way for
everything
AC/DC
else.
and all those other schoolboys in
number 4
in disguise.
Right.
This album got nominated for album cover award.
Oh, right on.
This one in School's Out. We didn't win.
Right.
But we were nominated. Great record. I remember we were all sick as dogs and we were in the UK, so we went to the Canary Islands. Thank God we weren't on that 747 that hit it. You know, it was like
that would have been a bad day.
Oh yeah, really. It was a major airline. The 747 ran into, I think, a DC-3 on the Canary Islands, so foggy. The guy's out there with a flashlight. Didn't you see my beam? It's a great album. When we went to the Canary Islands, they said, we got a perfect place for you guys to rehearse. Yeah. It's a hotel. It's not finished yet.
Right. Oh.
So it's 6 o'clock in the morning. Pound that nail in there. They're building the place that we're going. Okay.
That's a rude wake-up call.
We had to fire a road manager.
Yeah. Number 3.
Battle Axe. Another tragic story in rock and roll. Alice decided to go on the road by himself, and he didn't need the band, so we started working on this album. It's myself and Neil and Dennis from the original band, and Mike Marconi, and Bob Dolan played on the $1 Billion Babies tour with Mick Mashburn. We used to have, out from under the stage, rolled hydraulics to a song on an album called Nights in Cracked Leather. And it was like Cleopatra coming into Rome, you know. Yeah. It rolls out and then the sides come up and it's a boxing ring, right?
Okay.
So they started on this song and then Michael and I get in the ring, the other guitar player.
Sure.
And we're
battling.
We're battling with guitars that have wireless transmitters. So you hear the and behind a scoreboard, and whoever got the best 2 out of 3 falls, I did one of these.
The crowd.
And it cost us over $100,000. We did 4 shows with it. And then we went home to take a nap and cry. Our precious producer, Lee DiCarlo, decided, you know what, I'm going to snort a ton of coke this morning and go in and master this album. I guess when you do a ton of coke, your high end goes away, or your low end, one of them. And so he kept more highs or lows. And so the U-shaped groove ends up like this, and it's when a live passage comes on a vinyl record, it just boom through the stylus right off the record. So we started getting records back. So we, in an emergency attempt to stick our finger in the dike and stop the flooding, we remixed the album with Jack Douglas and Jack Richardson, and Sid Bernstein went in and tried to negotiate another album with Polydor Records, but Polydor Records was phasing out their rock stars and they were going into disco queens.
Okay, so number 2 on your top 10.
Number 2, yes, Love It to Death. This is the 3rd album that we did. Love It to Death was amazing because a lot of it was just stuff we were doing on the road, because we had Bob Ezra. Was from Toronto, a Canadian. Because there was a Canadian involved, they would play it on Canadian radio.
Oh, right on.
So CKLW started playing it. Shep immediately had a phone put in at the farm. And all of a sudden we were, hi, this is Lynn. I'm 18. Hi, I want to hear that Alice Cooper. $1,000 phone bill.
Oh, wow.
We had everybody, if you came over to our house, get on the phone.
Right on.
And it worked. It broke the record, and later on we were driving down the road somewhere, and we heard it, and we all got out of the car like, is this really happening? Pinch me.
Right on. That's awesome.
That is so cool.
Now, so the number 1 album of your favorite, it's got to be the one that is
coming up.
It's coming up, right?
The reunion.
Reunion album.
Well, I hope it is. Let's put it this way. When we get together to write, there's a lot of this going on.
Sure.
Instead of using musical terminology, some players will go, well, we need to do this, and then it needs to have this in it, and this. You know, I hired an interpreter, but it didn't do any good. We did our first rehearsal over at Solid Rock at Cooper's in Mesa, Alice's place in Mesa. And then he might come back, or Neil leaves in April, and we'll do some more writing.
Right on.
It's off to a good start. We, after not having really worked together, writing songs for a long time, we gelled, and
that's good.
We were rocking.
That's very good. So more information about you, they can go on Facebook, Michael Bruce Group, the Michael Bruce Group fan club.
Oh, okay.
On Facebook.
on Facebook.
Yep.
I might divulge some secrets.
Yeah, he'll divulge some secrets on
Bob
there.
made us swear that we wouldn't tell anybody about anything, but
We won't tell anybody you told us anything. Mom's the word.
We know nothing.
Unless this goes out and then all of a sudden it's published, but we didn't know anything about it.
we know nothing.
We won't say a thing.
Nothing.
We won't say a thing.
Mm-mm.
No, because you said it all. Right?
I'm guilty.
You're guilty. So he's Dean Naughton.
I'm Dean Naughton. This is Michael Bruce.
This is Michael Bruce, the legendary Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, one of the original founding members of the Alice Cooper Group, who's coming soon to a record store near you. Asylum Records, for sure.
You'd be crazy not to buy from Asylum.
Right? Asylum Records. Located almost School and Elliott in Chandler. I'm Chris Dunham. Until next time, see you.
Rock on.